Good morning. Oh, good evening. Good afternoon. Now I sound like Jim Carrey from The Truman Show. It's morning here, so wherever you are, hello. Sorry, I can hear the cats going crazy outside. So distracting. As you know, some of you know already, I look after a lot of the cats here, so it is very, very difficult to focus on what I'm doing when I have these crazies going on. And the male cats aren't sterilised, unfortunately. We're trying to get that done, but they're kind of in heat now, so it's all kicking off. Anyway, back to the point of the video. Thank you for watching, and you have just witnessed me doing my first ever block print in the tent. As some of you know, I've been in this tent since September, and I've been living out of a tent altogether for about 18 months. This morning is extremely cold, hence the woolly hat, the jumper. I'm still absolutely freezing. So I'm going to head out in a minute. And there's a bunch of challenges with this climate and any sort of art. One of them is the humidity. um you have to really look after your paper, and not just paper, just anything, even things like USB cables, like where the ends can start rusting because the amount of humidity and being so close to the coast, all the salt in the air. And some of you might remember I did a post, God, over a year ago probably now, where my dip pens nibs had gone rusty, even though I'd been keeping them in a kind of what I thought was an airtight kind of screw container, but they still ended up rusty. Paper can get moldy very easily, so this is something I'm going to need to be mindful of, especially when it comes to drying, anything that needs a long drying time. So yeah, and here's the print again. Overall, I am pretty pleased with it, considering this is just Fabriano watercolor paper that I did actually buy for watercolor, but I didn't really like how it felt. I didn't like the quality of the paper for watercolor, personally. So I was wondering what else to do with this paper. It's fairly smooth, so I guess I could use ink on it, like drawing. And the ink itself, as you saw from the video, is actually the Speeedball screen printing ink for fabric, though it does say you can use it on paper and cardboard. But why screen printing ink, you may ask? The reason is, when I was looking into printing onto fabric, handprinted.co.uk, a blog article about comparing different types of ink for use on fabric, and it was a possibility that this could actually work out more economical to use than Speedball's actually block printing fabric ink. I actually have both. Here's the other one. I still need to do some tests with this on different types of paper. Cats. So I didn't really like how this came out on fabric. I did a print on a bag a few months ago outside when the weather was a bit warmer. I can't say for sure if it was the ink. I mean, I'll show you this in another post. I can't say for sure if it was the ink. There are a number of variables. Like, I didn't wash the bag first, even though the manufacturer told me not to wash it. Maybe there was some kind of protection. It did need a slight bit of ironing. Yeah, there's a number of things, really. It could have been maybe too much ink, not enough, nothing. I'm not sure, but it was a much blotchier than I thought, and it didn't come out as dark as I'd like. So then I have 2 tubs of this, and I thought, well, I don't want to waste it. What am I going to do with this? And it's not like I can get into screen printing here. You know, it's hard enough to do a lot of things off grid. You know, everything just takes so much longer. So getting into a new type of printmaking now, no, I don't have the capacity for focus or energy for it. So that's why I thought I'd try it on paper. And okay, I'll check the drying time. I'll see how it looks after, how rich the blacks are. Maybe try it on a few other types of paper that I would generally prefer to use for printmaking. But overall, I'm actually pretty happy with how that went. So that'll be a good use for that. As for printing in the tent, I don't actually have an area set up. I just spontaneously decided this morning that I was going to do a print of this block for the first time. So I'm actually printing on the floor. The floor is freezing, even though I've got like blankets and stuff down, so I can feel the cold seeping into my legs, into my calves, my shins rather. Yeah, it's actually quite cluttered in here. I do have a small table in here, but at the moment it's holding up a massive press I bought from Holland, which I'm going to use to print on fabric, and I'll show you that another time. But certainly for printing on paper, I prefer to hand burnish. Yeah, and I've had a few goat attacks recently on my kitchen as well, and they destroyed the kind of fabric cupboardy thing that I keep my food in. I guess they just kind of drove their horns through the top and they ripped open the fabric and ate a bunch of food. And until that is fixed, I'm not sure the best way to fix that. I've brought a lot of the food inside the tent, so it's actually really, really cluttered. So organization is something I still haven't managed to succeed with, even without the art, just general living. Like I said, I've been in this tent since September, but the weather is now considerably colder. It can get dirty and messy very, very quickly. Not only because it's a small space and because I have cats coming in and out, but the area around where I am isn't sand like where I was before. It's clay, and I'm actually in the bed, which sounds like a bit of a crazy thing to do in the winter, the wet season. But I've dug a bunch of channels, so that's not so much of a problem. It's the humidity and the fact that I'm in a riverbed, like a valley. I guess I'm in what we would call in the UK a frost pocket, even though we don't get frosts here, but in terms of like the cold air sinking. So all these kind of things need addressing to make the space more presentable and more practical to be able to print in. Now, when the weather gets a bit warmer in March, April, I plan to have a printmaking area outside. And I bought a tarpaulin recently for this to create an outside kind of chill out printing area, which I haven't started yet. And oh yeah, I'll be doing a lot of printing in March, April for a separate project that I will tell you about later on. So that's it for now from me in the tent. I think I need to go and get a hot chocolate or something from the taverna because I'm really, really cold. And I don't know what's going on with these latex gloves. This is the first time I've used these for to print, because you can see the color of the tent, and I'm just such a messy person. I'm the sort of person that would like go out and my inky fingers would go on the side of the tent. But from one use, you can see, yeah, so much being reusable. Okay, these haven't had any UV exposure, but it does make you wonder, sort of, I don't know whether these are just really bad quality gloves or if it's something to do with the climate that has just kind of degraded them. I've had them literally about 2 months in a box. I will leave it there. And thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope that was useful, and have a beautiful day.